I've really let my science lab get a bit untidy. The other day, I decided to get organized by bringing some like things together. Right away, I saw some items strewn about the workshop that I thought really belonged collected together, where they could form more of a cohesive whole. When I'm inventing, I like to keep a spool of thread nearby to remind myself that a stitch in time saves 9. A human brain reminds me to think outside the brain box, and a loose screw is a good reminder to try to stay evidence-based rather than, getting too crazy. Because I had exercised such creativity and curatorial skill in gathering the individual elements in my collection, and I also wrote up an introduction to the collection in which I expounded on the best ways to keep it organized on the workbench, I went ahead and licensed my work with a Creative Commons license of my own. I didn't change any of the elements in my collection. Each remains intact with its original license. Also, none of the materials I included have the NC or non-commercial element in their licenses, so I could sell my compilation if I felt so inclined. However, I want my collection to be easily accessible and helpful to other scientists on a shoestring, so I've applied a less restrictive license, only requiring attribution. That night was dark and stormy, and I couldn't sleep. I returned to the laboratory and got to thinking, what if I used my mad scientist skills, along with some of the lightning outside, to combine all or parts of the elements from my collection into something distinctive and new? Well, then I would not have a collection. No. Then I would have a remix, or an adaptation, or a derivative work. And the local townsfolk would have some concerns. They might, for example, want to ensure that all the elements of my remix were licensed in such a way that it was okay to combine them into my adaptation, that none had the no derivatives or ND element, and that all the individual licenses were compatible with one another, and that I had properly attributed each one. Fortunately, with one element allowing adaptation with attribution, one requiring that adapted works are shared with its identical license, and one marked with the CC Public Domain tool, I've made sure of that, so I could suggest that they put down their pitchforks. But then they would probably want to inspect the license I chose for my monster mashup and make sure I'd done that properly too. With a CC by Brain and some CC by SA thread, plus some bolts dedicated to the public domain, I matched the most restrictive license for my adaptation, applying a CC by SA license for my monster mashup. As I watched my monster lope off into the night, I was excited to see the townsfolk chasing him with their torches, no doubt planning to build on my work with useful adaptations of their own.